La Democracia, Guatemala, June 2019. A team of researchers from MIT, Harvard, and Yale announced that they have discovered unusual magnetic anomalies within the colossal stone heads attributed to the Monte Alto, a Mesoamerican civilization that emerged around 1800 BC.
Some of these statues have very strong magnetic fields. The creators of these statues were totally aware of these magnetic fields. And that is something that shocked modern archaeologists, that this rather primitive culture, they thought, was aware of magnetism, and that they actually chose certain rocks because of the magnetic field.
In Mexico, similar statues created by the Olmec civilization were also found to emit magnetic anomalies. These intricately carved heads vary in height from nearly 5 feet to over 11 feet tall, the largest weighing approximately 50 tons. Like the Monte Alto sculptures, most of these heads were made from basalt.
Basalt has large quantities of iron and magnesium in them. The Olmec were so precise with knowing where the magnetic fields were that they actually carved the structure around these anomalies. So when scientists use a magnetometer around the stone statue, they notice the nose and the cheeks, around the chin, the magnetic fields are strongest there.
The great heads of the Olmec are made of basalt. Basalt is a volcanic substance, and the closest source to many of these heads is anything up to 100 miles away. And this is interesting because I don't think it's simply the case that the basalt was easy to sculpt into the forms of heads.
Basalt is dense. It's very, very heavy, thick rock, and it's very difficult to work with, let alone carve with rudimentary tools like flint, because they range higher on Mohs test as far as density, and flint is a much softer material than basalt. So it's difficult to understand how they carve these things, and the intricate detail on some of them is just incredible.
With these stone giants, it really is a question as to why they chose these specific types of rock. Like granite, we find it's very crystalline. It's also electrically conductive. We find basalt, which is volcanic. Again, this is very magnetic. And so again, it can be conductive for various different purposes. And so what's going on here? Were they specifically choosing certain types of rock for technological reasons?
When we look at how the ancients were selecting certain stones that were magnetic or had certain energies, we wonder how they could know about all of the properties of these stones. Are they getting this information from extraterrestrials?
Extraterrestrials? Is it possible that the ancient people of Mesoamerica were given instructions to sculpt these giant basalt heads by alien visitors? But if so, why? As far as ancient astronaut theorists are concerned, the answer is simple. They were intended to be used for data storage.
In 2017, IBM made a huge breakthrough in data storage. They figured out how to store 201 gigabytes of data on a square inch of tape. That means a magnetic tape reel the size of the palm of your hand can hold as much data as you would have in 330 laptops.
Mag tape, mag stripe tape, is made out of basically very, very tiny magnetic particles. And what they do is they adhere them to the back of a thin strip. And the way it works is the little metal filings, which are very microscopic, they would all align in a certain pattern, kind of like the grooves on a record player. And it would take another piece of equipment similar to the one that actually aligned them to interpret how those particles are lined up. And we still use it to this day for backup data storage.
And so once again, we have to ask ourselves if these statues were in fact devices that had recorded information, and information could be extracted from them, like a computer hard drive or something like that.
We've been looking at these objects primarily at the macroscopic level. What do they look like? But maybe there's information inside them encoded using nanotechnology. Why is that likely? Because we ourselves are doing the same thing. By trying to store information for thousands or millions of years, you end up going to the same physical materials and solutions that the hypothetical ancient aliens may have also figured out how to use.